In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
This week on Gun Talk, we're talking about a huge win in California with a ruling on the constitutionality of the state's current 10-day waiting period, a fight for gun rights in Washington, big game hunting, and more. Plus your questions. Call now to be on the air with Tom. 866-TALK-GUN. Now here's Tom.
So much for us to talk about today. It is unbelievable what's going on out there. And frankly, what's going on right here with you, the things that you people have been doing, stepping up to the plate, getting things done, donating money, making calls, sending emails, doing what it takes to have an effect, to have an impact. Because, I mean, you know the drill. If you don't show up, somebody else is going to decide what happens. If you aren't in the meeting, someone will come out of the meeting to tell you how your life has been affected by it. You got to show up. You got to be there. And you guys are there all the time. Hey, by the way, I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk. If you want to talk about guns, this is your place. Optics, ammo, absolutely. We'll do all of that. We're also going to be talking about gun rights, civil rights, because to me, gun rights and the Second Amendment is one of the original civil rights. We'll be talking a little bit about that, and some successes out there, as well as some really big challenges. Have some news with the New Jersey case of Chenine Allen, the mother who was arrested in New Jersey. She had her Pennsylvania carry permit, thought it was good in New Jersey, made a mistake. Instead of just the police officer saying, hey, lady, this is not good here. Turn around, go back to Pennsylvania. Puts the cuffs on her, arrests her. She's in jail for 40 days. Now she's been charged with a felony. They're taking her to trial, trying to get 3.5 to 10 years in prison because she didn't have the right piece of paper, which is really all it amounts to, having the right piece of paper if you don't have the right permit, isn't it? So we've got some news about that. Also, a lot of things going on out in California, and we talk about California a lot because what happens there happens where you live. Maybe not this year, but pretty darn soon. If they succeed with their gun confiscations, their gun bans, their restrictions, their waiting periods there, it comes to a town and a state near you. So we just had a big victory there, as well as some really intense action in the legislature. And joining us to talk about that right now is Gene Hoffman from the Calguns Foundation. Hello, Gene. Lots going on out there.
Tom, it's been a busy and good week for gun rights here in California.
Well, it has for sure. If you would, I guess start off first with the court case and explain what that was about and what happened.
So on Monday, a federal district judge ruled that the California 10-day waiting period on all purchases or transfers of firearms, even for those people who the state knows own guns, has to be unconstitutional.
Now, that waiting period has been in effect for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's morphed over time. It started as a one-day waiting period for only pistols at retail in 1923. And it morphed to 5 days and then 15 days. And slowly but surely, all gun transfers got into it. And then it became the current kind of 10-day in 1996.
So if 1 isn't enough, 5 might be better. And if 5 isn't enough, 10 might be better. And as we always say when they're doing the countdown on mag capacity, there is no end to how far they want to go with it. So what was the argument? What won the day with the court? How did they arrive at saying, 10-day waiting period is unconstitutional?
Well, there's a couple things in there. There was some legitimate reason for why the waiting periods got longer in history, and that was that then they were running these background checks, and you used to have to mail something to Sacramento and mail it back. You'd often have the background check come back and, in fact, be bad after the guy had already picked the gun up. But, of course, in the modern era, this stuff happens immediately. It's an Oracle database, and they check NICS, and they check their own California-specific ones. And, in fact, what we found out is that 20% of every background check that they conducted last year finished immediately.
So we have computers. They don't need 10 days to do the check. That's what you're saying. Basically, they make the phone call, and they punch it in and go, yep, he's a good guy, let him have it.
Well, and, in fact, California, being California, we actually have an online web infrastructure for all the gun dealers. So you actually literally fill out an online form. It submits it in real time to DOJ, and you can get real-time information back about the fact that it's been completed.
So given all of that, was the court's position one of you can't delay a right?
That's exactly it. The government was basically taking a blind eye to the fact that it knew you owned firearms, and their justification was that it's a cooling-off period, that you were about to do a rash act. But of course, in one case, we had people who have carry licenses here in California. You can't make a real argument that somebody who's armed at the gun store is waiting to do his impulsive act with the new gun he's buying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
not at all. And so the court basically said, look, we're not going to rule that the background check can't take the time the background check takes. So there may still be Californians who don't have permits or licenses where their name and birth date are similar to a felon, and that may cause them to have to wait a day or two. But generally only the first time, because, once you clear that out with human intervention, the next time somebody runs a background check on you, they should know that, it's not you, right? And that was where the court went, basically saying that the Department of Justice can't turn a blind eye to the data it has. If it is, it's just inconveniencing gun owners and burdening the Second Amendment for no real reason.
Okay, so what this means, if I hear this right, is that there won't be this 10-day background check if you already own a gun, if you're in the system, but if you're buying your first gun, what happens?
That may mean that you do have to go through a 10-day waiting period. And there is some studies that say primarily suicides can potentially be stopped by that. And, we see this with ranges who require you to bring a gun or a buddy, right. To make sure that you don't have, ill intent in a sense. But the thing is in California, you can voluntarily register a firearm. So if you're moving in, you're supposed to actually register your firearms. Anybody who's got a single gun will no longer generally have to wait. And there are a couple permits beyond the carry license, which are also about to get much easier to get here in California due to the court rulings previously. But there's a thing called a certificate of eligibility, which is something where you go get fingerprint live scan, and once you do that, you kind of become known to the system. And that plus a gun means you'd never wait as well.
Okay. Now, you also had crazy, insane, way past midnight goings on in the legislature with some good news and also some maybe not so great news. You want to fill us in there?
Yeah, look, the worst bill out there was SB 53. This was an attempt to create background checks when you bought ammo. The bill would end the interstate purchasing of ammo, even though it claims that it doesn't, but it would force you to make a ammo store take delivery of the ammo you bought from out of state. Imagine Amazon having to ship to Barnes & Noble. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
That bill failed very late on Friday night, Saturday morning around 3 a.m., and it is now dead. That had been vetoed multiple times by the governor. The governor's not always the best on gun rights, but Governor Brown is surprisingly good. His commentary on that bill has always been that, we're putting these gun owners through all sorts of background checks and registration. Why are we making them do yet another one, right?
Okay.
The ones that did pass, it's now much easier for a family member to get a restraining order to take your guns away. It's not a pretty situation. I do expect that it'll be hard to get the governor to veto that after what happened down in Southern California near San Diego recently. In theory, the idea that, you should have somebody being disarmed for being a danger to self or others is, frankly pretty good, but we already have a law called 5150, which makes it really easy. In fact, what happened in Isla Vista was that the cops didn't think the guy was crazy, and so they didn't put him on a 5150 hold. That one's troubling just because you worry about your neighbors getting in a defense dispute with you and disarming you, right?
Right.
But, we'll see where that goes. The other bills, they're trying to make it so that we have to retroactively add serial numbers back to home-built firearms. Californians kind of cottoned on to the fact that you could manufacture guns at home, and, did quite a bit of it, AK build parties and, even to the point where people were building 1911s at home, right? It's not that sophisticated if you have some of the basic metalworking techniques. So that bill is problematic just because, you're going to have a whole bunch of people who probably don't know that they need to go and register their previously unregistered, unserialized firearms.
Sounds like ex post facto, and a lot of people could get tripped up by that one. And I know that you guys are working on it. If we could, and there's just way too much for us to cover all of it, Gene, tell us where we are with the other court cases that are going on, because you've got some other big cases going on in California.
Yeah, that's right. Both the NRA and us have two carry cases, Peruta and Richards. Right. We're waiting to see if the Attorney General can intervene in the Peruta case. at the Ninth Circuit to take it what's called en banc. It'd be the entire Ninth Circuit, though it's actually a subset here, to review that case. If not, we expect that case to become final, and at this point, I think we lean that it's going to become final. It'll be interesting to see if the state of California or one of the sheriffs will appeal it to the Supreme Court. The sheriff, in our case, has said that he would. So that would be kind of the next major vehicle for Supreme Court review of Kerry.
And what's the gist of what's the gist of the Peruta case for those that haven't been following it?
Yeah, this is a case against the sheriff in San Diego County that says, look, my good cause is that I am not prohibited. If we can't open carry and you really can't carry a loaded firearm at all in public without a license, then that license has to survive real Second Amendment scrutiny. Once that happens, the sheriff just kind of deciding based on no real evidence that you shouldn't carry isn't going to hold.
Ah, okay. And the other case?
The other case is, and we're waiting for a district court opinion on this, the handgun roster here in California, a case called Pena.
That's a big one.
That's a very big one. Under the logic of Sylvester, this was the case most recently about the 10-day waiting period, it's going to be very hard for the state of California to prevail in that. What's happened over the years is, the original drop test roster wasn't so bad in the sense that most guns could, correctly be fixed so they'd pass the drop test and not go off when you dropped them.
Right.
Arguable whether that's a problem or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are certainly pieces of how that worked, like guns before the roster that were for manufacturers are in business can never get on the roster. And so, in fact, in our case, the exact same gun that Supreme Court ruled in Heller versus D.C., that D.C. had to register, well, you can't buy that gun in California. And one of our plaintiffs wants it.
Right.
So, it is an amazingly dumb idea, and it's gotten dumber. It's added in things like magazine disconnects and then now microstamping. And with microstamping, we're watching the number of makes and models of semi-automatic handguns in California drop about 10% a quarter.
Well, yeah. Well, Mike Pfeiffer, the CEO of Ruger, said he's looking at the roster. He says, in 2 or 3 years, there won't be any semi-automatics available for sale in California because anytime you change a gun, a manufacturer changes anything on a gun, then they have to resubmit it. And if that resubmission does not include microstamping, which it cannot because it's impossible, then that gun falls off the roster.
That's exactly right. So slowly but surely, it's a creeping gun ban to the point where we're not going to have any semi-autos in California for sale at retail.
So you think that roster is going to go away completely?
I believe that it's going to be ruled unconstitutional, but we'll see how sweeping that ruling will be. The courts can be fickle, though. It's not clear that we'll necessarily win that case at the district court. We did not win the Kerry cases at district court, but we won them in the Ninth Circuit. And a lot of people, they hear the Ninth Circuit and think about how crazy it is out here. I think folks forget the Ninth Circuit includes Alaska and Oregon and Nevada and Washington State, where, those judges see the gun rights issues in a far more mainstream and American sense than, say, some of the California judges do.
Absolutely. To keep up with this, I guess the Calguns Foundation website is going to be the best place to go?
That's absolutely correct. Calguns Foundation website. If you really want to keep close to these cases, subscribe to our email list. We send out updates as these things happen. And
I would suggest that anybody anywhere ought to do this because, it's like Maryland has a roster, and this affects you no matter what state you live in. Calgunsfoundation.org is the website.
That's correct. And, look, that is the point. We're waiting, in fact, for a case in Illinois, in the Illinois State Supreme Court, about AR-15s and Sullivan's bands, for example.
Exactly. So, this thing, really, it's one of those deals of what happens anywhere happens everywhere these days, because if they can get it through anywhere, they're going to try it everywhere.
That's correct. We are the breeding ground for bad ideas.
Well, you're on the front lines, and I am glad you are, because you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much for sharing all this, Gene.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, you take care. All right, check it out, calgunsfoundation.org. All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
Want to win a gun? Well, Springfield Armory has a great promotion going. They're giving away a bunch of guns and thousands of hot swag items like range bags, shirts, hats, and other great stuff. Vote for your favorite gun. The grand prize is a personal training session with 5-time world champion Rob Latham. Go to duel.springfield-armory.com. That's duel.springfield-armory.com. duel.springfield-armory.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
In my world, there are no helpless victims. There is no weaker sex. In my world, pain comes from fear, and fear is not an option. But my world is just like yours. Only difference, how I choose to defend myself.
Introducing the Carry On series from Taurus, the ultimate collection of concealed carry firearms designed for discreet, reliable personal protection. Visit TaurusUSA.com to learn more.
Carry on.
In the dark about which firearm is best for self and family defense? Call Tom now for great suggestions for your purchase and a lifetime of insight regarding the safe handling, operating, and storage of your new addition. Now, once again, Tom Gresham.
Did you happen to see this? CNN reporter Don Lemon. He was reporting as part of the coverage of the Ferguson riots, Ferguson, Missouri. He says, I was able to go and buy an automatic weapon. Most people can go out and buy an automatic weapon. Yeah, well, the only problem is PolitiFact, which is an outfit that checks what reporters say, they checked into this one and they labeled it as false. Because, of course, he did not go out and buy an automatic weapon. He may have purchased a semi-automatic or a self-loader, an auto loader. I mean, most certainly didn't buy an automatic. That's a full auto. That's a National Firearms Act. It takes a year. It takes a year to get the paperwork through on that. Anybody can buy an automatic weapon. It's from the general media. I know you saw this one. The reporter who posted the tweet had a picture of some foam earplugs and said, "Can anybody confirm these are rubber bullets, aren't they? These are the rubber bullets they're shooting at people at Ferguson." Foam earplugs. I actually had a guy come in the office a couple of days ago, and we had a bag of those orange earplugs out there. He says, "Oh, I see you got your rubber bullets." Well, we all laughed at that. It's interesting, though, because sometimes these guys get made fun of so much, even they understand that they're stupid and ignorant and they're embarrassing themselves. Not always, but occasionally. And I'll have more about that because the financial guys have gotten it wrong on guns companies and gun stocks. The stocks, as in Wall Street's type stocks, not the stocks on your shotguns and rifles. Line one, Andrew is with us on line one. Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
Doing well, Tom. How are you?
I am great, sir. How can I help you?
Hey, I just wanted to call and give you a range report on the A&G gun leather belt. I emailed you about 3 months ago saying that where I work, I have to wear dress clothes, but I leave my gun in a safe in my car. And so I always want to have something that I can carry with, and I was asking you about a good belt that I could wear that would be a dress belt but also be a gun belt at the same time, and you recommended A&G gun leather to me. It's a fantastic belt, and those are great guys over there. I actually called them to help me with sizing, and they told me exactly everything that I needed to know. And, it got to me, and I took it out. And you can basically hold that thing out on one end and use it as a towel rack if you wanted to. It's a thick piece of leather.
It is. And actually, I had one of the listeners here suggest I had never heard of A&G leather, and they sent me the report on it and said they really did like it. So I've been using A&G belts for a while. And you know what I liked about it? I think what you're saying is a lot of gun belts we find are the 1.5 inch. What width did you get? Did you get like 1 1/4 or 1 inch?
I actually went with 1 1/4. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. And you can wear that with dress pants.
Yes, I can. Yeah, and it is fantastic. Like I said, I called them and I talked to them about the different buckle types and the width as well. And it is perfect for my dress pants. The only thing is, obviously, once I get it past the buckle, try to put it through the belt loop again because it's thick enough. I probably shouldn't do that, as I'll probably wind up ripping my belt loops off. But the way they sized it, it worked out so well that I don't really have to put it through any other serious belt loops or anything. So it's a fantastic piece of leather, and it makes a huge difference in carrying a gun.
Well, it also makes it more comfortable, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. And on that note, I'm actually probably going to be trying out the Alien Gear holsters here shortly. I've had the same holster for about 10 years, and thinking about getting something maybe a little bit more comfortable. Yeah,
the Alien Gear, and I tell you, they've got such great prices right now. It's pretty incredible. Alien Gear holsters, they're doing some amazing things. Basically, they've cut their prices down to the bone, and so anybody that's looking for just want to try another holster, I would suggest you grab one of those things. Hey, thanks for the call, Andrew. Thanks for that range report. Actually, in this case, it's a belt report, if you will. Always fun. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in there. We're going to be open lines if you'd like to chat. Give me a range report. Ask a question about a gun, rifle, shotgun, handgun, getting ready for the hunting seasons. Love to talk about that. 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately?
You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with the 866-TALK-GUN. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. A lot of things cooking. We've been talking, well, of course, came up with the idea, was it a week ago? 2 weeks ago now. The case of Chenine Allen, the woman, the mother of two from Pennsylvania, who has a carry permit in Pennsylvania. She drove into New Jersey. She got a traffic stop. She did what she thought she was supposed to. She informed the police officer, I have the carry permit, did all the things that she was told to do in her concealed carry class. She just didn't know that what was legal in Pennsylvania made her a felon in New Jersey, literally by driving over an invisible line on the ground. You become a felon. What should have happened, of course, is the police officer should have said, lady, you need to turn that car around and get out of here. Go back to Pennsylvania. That permit's not good here. Because he could look in there and he could see this is not somebody who's a threat. But no, he put the cuffs on her, arrested her. They charged her. They kept her in jail for 40 days while she was working just to get out of jail. She's got 2 young boys. She had a good job in the medical field. And now the district attorney, although he had the option of putting her into an intervention program where she wouldn't go to jail and get a fine and probably go to class, had that option, did it for Ray Rice, who knocked his fiancée unconscious, but wouldn't do it for this woman who clearly just made a mistake. So now they're trying to put her in prison, state prison, for 3.5 to 10 years. So I got this idea, we need to tell people about this. We need to get the word out. Well, why don't we do a billboard campaign just to shine the light of public scrutiny on it, So we did. And I asked for some help, and Frank Fiamingo from the New Jersey Second Amendment Foundation got involved, and a lot of you got involved. And we set up with the Second Amendment Foundation to be the clearinghouse so you could make donations there. Excuse me. And you can go to the SAF website, saf.org, and you can make a donation. And in the comment box, you put NJ Billboard Project for New Jersey Billboard Project. And we got a lot of donations. So we are ready to rock. And I believe they said the earliest they could get it up would be about the 15th of September. But the 15th of September, they're going up. And you contributed enough money. I love you guys and gals. And Alan Gottlieb at the Second Amendment Foundation then matched everything that we got together. Holy cow, thanks, Alan. We're going to have, I think, 4 billboards up. And at that point, we'll call attention to it. We'll shine the light on it. We'll try to get the local talk shows talking about it. And we'll try to get national media to pay attention to it. Because this, if ever there was an example of why we must have some form of nationwide reciprocity, this is it. You're completely legal doing something one place. And quite literally, by stepping 1 foot over an invisible line on the ground that you can't see, you are breaking the law. You haven't harmed anyone. It's victimless. You had no intent to do a crime, to commit a crime. You just didn't have the right piece of paper. And for that, you go to prison, not jail, not a fine, prison, for not having the right piece of paper. Chenine Allen, mother of 2. Thank you, everybody. Let's keep it up. Let's keep pouring them in there. SAF.org, donate. Giving away stuff. Speaking of giving away things, we had a winner. Ha-ha, love it. Love to give away stuff. The Top Gun Supply giveaway, a Sig Sauer, P229 and 40 S&W, and all the other good stuff. Darren M. in Nampa, Idaho. You're the winner. Way to go, man. Darren M. in Nampa, Idaho. You are the winner of the Top Gun Supply giveaway, SIG P229. By the way, speaking of Top Gun Supply, I got an email from them. They sent it out. I'm on their email list. And it brought to mind what's going on right now in the gun world. Prices are down. There are some terrific deals going on right now. They have a deal, can you believe getting a SIG P250 for $350? Yeah. It's amazing. What's happened is that sales are down from last year because 2013 was this crazy, insane year where, you remember, you couldn't find an AR, you couldn't find a gun, the shelves were bare, and all you had to do to sell a gun was to make a gun. If you had a gun, you could sell it. Gun Source was saying to distributors and gun companies, send me anything. I don't care what you have, send me. Doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. Send me a gun. I can sell it. Well, that's not true now. And so you have all this capacity now, and gun makers are making special deals to dealers and to the distributors, and the distributors are making special deals to the dealers. And if you go to your gun store and say, hey, what kind of special deals you have? What's going on here? If you start checking online, you're going to find some amazing prices right now. In fact, I had a big gun store owner tell me a couple of days ago, he said, the new gun prices are killing used gun sales because you could buy a new gun for almost what you'd pay for a used gun these days. He used the example of the Ruger American rifle. Pick it up for $300. He says, why is somebody going to buy a used gun? You could buy a brand new one that may be better than the used gun that was out there. It's crazy time. But it's a good time. And weirdly enough, Wall Street, of course, never quite understands who we are, what we do. And they look at it and say, oh, sales are down. Smith & Wesson sales are down. Ruger sales are down from last year. We're going to downgrade their stocks. So the price of their stocks plummet. And then the Bloomberg financial guys and the CNN financial guys and the Fox financial guys, they look at it and go, well, clearly nobody wants guns anymore. The gun buying boom is over, and the gun culture in America is dead. But if you look at gun sales on a 5-year, timeline, you see that our sales right now are above what they were in 2012. If you simply take the anomaly of 2013 out, what you see is that gun sales continue to go up because we have new gun owners. We have women buying guns at crazy rates. And the idea that people have decided that they don't want guns and America has done with its quote-unquote love affair with guns is insipid, silly, lazy reporting, and really myopic in the sense of coming from a big city environment and not actually asking anybody any questions. It's not journalism. It's not reporting. It's news repeating. And what are they repeating? Where? Could they have gotten this meme, this idea, this storyline? Could it possibly have been from the Bloomberg folks, the gun ban groups who want the public to think that nobody wants guns anymore? You think? 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where bore tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting bore tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let bore tips help. To find a dealer, visit boretips.com.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to waltherarms.com for more information. That's waltherarms.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Hey everyone, I'm Doug Koenig, winner of more than 60 national and world shooting championships. You know what? I'm here to tell you that the only thing I like better than competitive matches with high-powered pistols and better than hunting big whitetail deer is watching NRA Freedom Friday presented by Cheaper Than Dirt on the Pursuit Channel. It's true what they say. Pursuit Channel delivers the outdoors.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety. If Ben Franklin were alive today, he'd be listening to Gun Talk. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Bill is on line 1, called in from Vancouver, Washington. Hello, Bill, how you doing? Well, I guess he's on line 2. Whoever we have on line 1 here, let's see if we can sort all this out. Bill's on line 2. Hey, Bill.
Yeah. Tom.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks again for all the good work you do with especially helping that lady in New Jersey. We all appreciate that.
Well, I'm just channeling everybody else's work.
Well, maybe we can have an effect. But the reason I was calling, I'm becoming concerned about all the steel-jacketed bullets I have in my inventory. I'm just wondering how corrosive or how detrimental to a bore they might be. They seem to be everywhere. I bought a M1 Garand from the civilian marksmanship folks and some Milsurp ammo, and it turns out that's got steel-jacketed bullets as well. I'm kind of worried about putting cheap bullets down the bore of a $1,000 rifle.
Well, who's telling you that they're I'm trying to figure out who's telling you there's a problem here.
Well, our friends on the internet, of course, are one source.
Yeah, I'm not terribly concerned. I got to tell you, I'm not worried about shooting. I mean, shooting steel bullets through your barrel was not going to corrode your barrel. It just shouldn't be an issue. So, I mean, somebody may call in here and say, well, there's another reason to worry about it. I don't, simply because the price is right and I shoot them, and, I shoot what I can get my hands on. So it's not going to corrode your barrel. And obviously, you're cleaning your bore after you shoot, I take it.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking that it was, steel's harder than lead, of course, so it might be more abrasive. But I suppose with the soft bore inside, the steel jacket would kind of deflect inward.
Yeah, but that's not what wears out barrels. I mean, people get really confused. It's not friction or erosion of the bullet against the barrel that wears out barrels. It is the gunpowder burning that erodes or wears out the throat of the barrel, the part of the barrel right in front of the chamber. It's not the bullet, it's the powder. And your choice of bullet really has nothing to do with that. And when you wear out a barrel, it's because the burning powder, this hot gas, has essentially evaporated, sublimated, eroded, if you will, the steel in front of the chamber, and now the bullet's having to make a jump before it hits the lens, and that's what causes a barrel to wear out. It's not a bullet wearing out a barrel. It's the gases eroding a barrel. That's what actually happens.
Very good. I sure appreciate that clarification.
Absolutely. Well, look, congratulations on the rifle. I hope you enjoy that. Now we can go to line one, where Mike is with us out of Dodge City, Kansas. Hello, Mike. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you for Gun Talk.
Well, thank you.
My comment was on the Vice President Joe Biden helping that guy out up there in Washington. I heard that they dropped the charges on him. Is that correct?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
This man stepped out of his back door. There's some kids robbing his tool truck, and he stepped out and shot off a couple of shots of his shotgun in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Vancouver, Seattle, where it was at, but it was up in the state of Washington, and he got the charges. Sounded like the charges got dropped on him.
You think that Joe Biden was involved in getting the charges dropped on him?
Yeah, because Vice President Joe Biden said to step outside the door and shoot off a gun. And so they took
clearly, you got to be pulling my leg at this point. I mean, okay, I get the joke that it was silly for Biden to say that, but I rather doubt that he got involved in that, in a case with somebody. And maybe I'm missing the joke here. It wouldn't be the first time. Let me talk with Doug on line 4 out of Benton, Louisiana. Doug, you're up.
Yeah, hi, Tom. Good afternoon. I heard of a situation where an individual blew up an AR-15 with a 300 blackout cartridge.
Yeah.
So I tested it and proved it to be true. I made 2 dummy rounds, of course. Took a 5.56 sizing die, took the decapping pin out of it, ran the 300 blackout cartridge, dummy cartridge, up in the die, and it felt just like feeding a bullet. It pushed the bullet back about 3/16 of an inch.
Yeah.
So I took the second dummy round, locked the bolt back on one of my 5.56 ARs, put the mag in, slapped the bolt release, and lo and behold, the bolt locked up.
So it would chamber and you could fire it. Now you're trying to shoot a 30 caliber bullet down a 22 caliber hole. Something's going to give, and it's not going to be pretty. Once again, and Doug, thank you for that. Once again, make really, really, really sure you got the right ammo for your gun every time. Oh yeah, make sure you're wearing shooting glasses. Always. Never pull the trigger of anything without wearing glasses.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
Hey, our Our friends at Trigicon gave us a holler this week and said, hey, we got something going on you probably want to tell people about. I said, sure, sounds like fun. They're doing the Trigicon World Shooting Championship. It's going to be held September 10 to 13, coming right up, at the Peacemaker National Training Center in West Virginia. It's a kind of a different kind of shooting competition where you don't bring any guns. You go there, and they're going to have the guns and the optics and the ammo all basically to provide a level playing field, if you will. So somebody doesn't show up with their super-duper gun, and your gun isn't quite as good as his or hers. It's just a case of who's the better shooter. It's a pretty cool idea, actually. And like I said, it's going to be September 10 to 13. Today is the last day of registration. So if you're interested, go to, let's see here, peacemakernational.com/WSC for World Shooting Championship. Looks like, wow, professional shooter registration, top prize is $50,000 plus a big prize table. Amateur shooters, you and me, $25,000 prize table, and junior shooters is a $1,000 prize table. Pretty neat stuff. Let me give the website out one more time. peacemakernational.com/WSC. That's the website. That's going to be fun. I like that idea. Pretty cool. Let's see here. Line 3, Scott, Carson City, Nevada. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Tom. Reason I called, I want to talk to you about that dry ice issue from last week. The first thing is, I remember you had somebody call you and say they wanted to know about transporting their ammunition in dry ice.
Yeah, I mean, I told them it's a bad idea all the way around. There's just nothing good about that.
Okay. Well, first let me digress a little bit. I wanted to thank you for running your PSAs about the protecting Louisiana wetlands. It is important, and I don't know whether you're getting compensated or not, but it's still a very nice thing for you to do, and I appreciate it.
No, it's a PSA. I mean, my dad started writing about the loss of the wetlands in Louisiana's coastline. It's the biggest estuary in the country about 40 years ago, so it got me involved in it. And we're losing a football field every day out there. I mean, it's not like, okay, the ground is now not as good. There's just no ground there. There are places where you can go out where you could stand 50 years ago, and now you're in a boat and you can't even see land. And so that affects flooding, the estuary, waterfowl migration, and we're talking about waterfowl all the way up to Canada and the entire Mississippi Flyway. So for us, it's a big deal, and so I just want to throw that out there. So I appreciate you noticing.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to my comment on the transporting in dry ice. The first thing is I looked at my old issue of the Spear Hunting Manual, or Reloading Manual, that's Volume 10, and they give a warning about not using ammunition that's where the temperature is below, and I think they say 20 below zero, which would be just about dry ice. The other one is, think about it this way: when you transport something in dry ice, and especially down in your part of the world,
I know where you're going.
Out of there, you're going to get condensation on it.
Oh yeah,
that water is going to act as a lubricant between the chamber of your rifle or of your firearm and the cartridge case. That means it's going to reduce the skin friction.
Yep, and you get increased pressure on the breech or the bolt face, which is what happens when you have oil on your cases also. Same deal, and it's a dangerous situation. And let me just jump in here because I'm just about out of time here, Scott. You don't need to refrigerate your ammo when you're transporting it. You certainly don't need to put dry ice on it. And the other thing is, be careful if you got dry ice inside of your car, because it's giving off carbon dioxide, so be aware of that. Generally, just be careful, okay? But as I always say, if the ammo is at the temperature where you're comfortable, it will be comfortable, and that's going to be good enough. Hey, when we come back, more gun rights news that you need to hear.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.